Hey kids, thought I'd jump on here real quick and just do this really quickly to give you an update. There's been some individuals, specifically someone going by the initials SD on my channel, that has a real hard-on for the fact that I don't have insurance. And so a number of people have been, commenting about that. And so I just wanted to walk you guys down through the little exercise in futility that I just went through this morning, because some of my better friends and supporters have commented, oh, you should get insurance anyway and what have you. So let me tell you what happens, guys. Before I do this, though, let me preface this a little bit and give you a little bit of background on old Grandpa, something that I haven't talked about very much. But when I lived in Ohio back years ago with my first wife, I was a licensed insurance agent and stockbroker. I actually have enough licensing back then to be a principal. I was a registered securities principal with the NASD. I had enough licensing to operate a branch office for, I had a branch office for Raymond James Securities in Lancaster, Ohio. Not only was I a stockbroker, I was a branch manager for them. And I've sold a lot of insurance over the years, liability insurance, Medicare supplement insurance, nursing home policies, all kinds of stuff like that, okay, as a bit of financial planning. If you don't believe me, I don't really give a rat's. Go ahead and check with the state licensing and the NASD. You'll find my records for where I was licensed. So I know a little bit about insurance, and I kind of know what kind of a scam it is or how they operate, okay? Insurance companies have underwriting guidelines, and they won't vary from that. If you don't fall into their little box that they need you to fall into, they're not going to write you a policy. I've had a lot of people say, oh, insurance is cheap, it's only $100 or it's only $75. Yeah, well, let me tell you why it's not. Two things that are an obstacle for someone in my situation. One, I do not have a permanent address. That immediately freaks them out. They don't know how to deal with the fact that I am not living in some house someplace or some apartment someplace. I'm not one of the usual sheep in the world that, doing what everybody else has to do. I'm coloring outside the lines, and that freaks them out. So that's the first red flag on my ability to be able to get insurance. The second red flag that I ran into is the guy asked me, well, where do I store the boat? I store the boat right down there underneath my butt. That's where I store the boat. I live on the boat. I do not store my boat. But because I couldn't tell him the name of a marina that I stored my boat at, another red flag for them. So I just got off a very lengthy phone call with Boat US, which is Geico Insurance, and he's now submitting it to underwriting for their review to see whether or not they'll even give me an application or a price. He did say normally it was going to be $77 a year for $300,000 liability for me on the boat, but because I do not have a permanent address that I live at, and I do not have someplace that I store the boat, because it's a boat, and God forbid the fact I actually move from point A to point B, they're not sure they're going to be able to write coverage for me. Okay, so this is the reality of someone who lives aboard a boat, as opposed to somebody who keeps his boat in a marina all the time and lives in a house. I don't fit in the box, I color outside the lines, and so therefore it's not nearly as simple. Now what's going to happen is one of two things. They're either going to come back with a rate that's very high, punitive in their aspect because I don't fit inside their box, or they're going to go ahead and write coverage, but as soon as I go ahead and file a claim at some point down the line, they'll deny the claim because my boat isn't A, at the marina I said it was supposed to be at, or B, because I'm not at my address where I said I was living. So those two items are exactly the excuse that they're going to need to deny coverage, even though I probably could have insurance and pay on it for 10 years and think to myself, oh, I'm well covered, everything's hunky-dory, until all of a sudden I have a claim and then they don't pay. Well, they're not going to pay because I'm not at the marina that I said I was at, or I'm not at the address that I said I was at. I'm not at a permanent address. The guy asked me, he says, well, what's the name of the marina nearest you? I said, I don't know, I guess, Tom's Point Marina, the Capri Marina, there's a few marinas here in the area. He says, okay, well, if we say you're at Tom's Point Marina, I'm like, whoa, 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 you can't say I'm there because I'm not. I'm on an anchor out in the middle of the bay. I'm not at that marina. I don't want to be insured under a false pretense, giving them an opportunity to deny a claim. It would be an exercise in futility and a waste of money. So for all you guys out there that think, oh my God, he doesn't have insurance, the world's going to end, you have to understand that insurance companies simply cannot deal with the fact that I live aboard on my sailboat and I don't fit into their boxes. So we'll have more for this later. I just wanted to jump on here and give you guys a little brief update as to what's going on with insurance for Grandpa. So more later, kids. Bye.